like I said, it was a little rocky at first, and I didn't know if it was going to work out. So really, the main like struggle, was investing 5K, not knowing it was going to work.
Mm.
All I had.
Get your water and give you some wine. I should have had some wine.
With exposure, execution, and consistency, there is nothing you can't do. Just keep planting.
Before we get into today's podcast episode, make sure you go to theresponsiblehomegirl.com and download the free money management guide that I have created for you. Most of the time, when people are starting their personal finance journey, they know that they want to do better with their money, but don't know exactly where to start. The money management guide is a great way for you to look at what you have going on right now and to take steps so you can get better. Like, I don't want you to get overwhelmed, like, oh, I need to do this, I need to do that, I need to do this. No, I want you to have a seat, literally sit down, assess what you have going on, and the free money management guide that I created for you will do just that. So make sure you go to theresponsiblehomegirl.com or just click the description, or just click the link in the description box below and go get that. You'll also be on my email list where I'll send out different tips, gems, personal finance stuff, business stuff, all of the Responsible Homegirl things. So make sure you click that link, download that free money management guide, and get your personal finance journey started because, baby, inflation, I'm feeling it. Hey, y'all. Thank you so much for tuning back into another episode on the Responsible Homegirl Podcast. I am Kiani, the Responsible Homegirl, and this is a space that I have created so young adults can become financially responsible and wealth conscious. So y'all know that I do that by sharing financial education and then interviewing amazing entrepreneurs who are building their wealth through business. So today we have no other than Mr. Trad. If y'all have been rocking with me for a little while, y'all know that I have a series called Think Like a Mogul, where I interview entrepreneurs who are either from South Carolina or live in South Carolina. So today we're gonna interview Trad. We're gonna get into his mindset and see how he thinks like a mogul. So thank you for being on the podcast, Trad.
Yes, ma'am. Honor.
How are you?
Good.
That is so good. So just to get started, I always like to ask my guests, can you give me an irresponsible financial decision that you've ever made?
I don't know. I haven't made too many yet.
Ooh, okay. Well, give me a responsible one.
Responsible. Don't borrow too much money.
Don't borrow too. Okay, I love it.
Work hard, save up your own money and then invest that until it's off.
Why do you have that perspective?
See, I was reselling shoes at first, and then that kind of died down. Then I was working at Wendy's in Mount Pleasant. I wasn't making much at all. And then I saved up my money. I saved up like 5K from Wendy's for like a year and a half. And then I bought the food trailer, and then I was making, I can make whatever, like 10K a month, first month.
Right. Okay.
So, but I never borrow money.
Because so you saw for yourself how it can work if you just, work, save your money, and then reinvest the money that you save.
That's your own money.
Absolutely. Okay, so let's get into this episode. So Trad, can you tell my community where you are from, how did you grow up, and what kind of led you into being this entrepreneur that you are today?
Yeah, I'm from Mount Pleasant, South Carolina. And I went to school in Mount Pleasant, and my dad owned a barber shop. So I was already kind of, I looked up to him because he was an entrepreneur.
Right.
And he, apartments or whatnot. So he was always, hustling his whole life. So I got it from him and my surroundings.
Mm-hmm. So do you feel like your entire life you were being like kind of groomed to be an entrepreneur? Was there ever a thought like, oh, I'm gonna go work a 9 to 5 or work another job?
I worked a 9 to 5 at first.
Mm-hmm.
So it's still a good thing, hey, work is work. But I want to be my own boss. I didn't want other people scheduling me. And I thought I was worth more than $15 an hour.
Absolutely. So after you graduated high school, because you're super young, can you tell my community how old you are?
I'm 21.
21. And y'all, we're gonna get into everything that he does. But after graduating from high school, like what was your mentality? Did you think about going to college? Like, give me that backstory.
Yeah, after I graduated high school in 2018, I went to Trident, took a few classes. I wasn't really feeling it. So, I mean, I went to real estate school as well, and I completed that. And I still might do real estate,
Mhm.
but then I started, looking at the food truck scene, and I bought my own food truck, and we've been killing it ever since. So, I mean, no,
Mm.
I didn't think I needed college.
Right. So now let's bring us up to speed. Tell us a little bit about Snow Blast, your food truck. Where did you get the idea from, and how did you start that?
Yeah, I was at a concert in Raleigh, North Carolina,
Hmm.
and there was actually a tent selling snow cones, and there was probably like 300 people lined up. So I was like, what happened if I brought this back to Charleston and actually put it in a food trailer and
Yeah,
see what? So I kind of took what I saw in Raleigh and brought it to Charleston, and it's worked ever since.
yeah. So how long did it take for you to like kind of get things up and running? Like, did you have to do your research? Like, was it an easy process for you?
Um, no, I did some research. I went around and asked a lot of, food truck owners. I pulled up on them, when I saw them on the side of the road, and I just talked to them and asked, what's the ins and outs? How do you get the bookings? Who do you call and whatever, and then I found a good deal on the trailer, and I did a lot of work myself in the trailer, building it wise, and then I got it wrapped. But we was working out of a canopy at first, and then I made some money with the canopy, and then I went and bought the trailer.
What's a canopy?
Like a tent,
Uh-huh.
canopy tent, and we were serving outside out of the tent.
Wow. So I want to
Yeah,
go back a little bit because I love what you did. You said you saw different food truck owners on the side of the road and you literally pulled up on them and asked them questions.
yeah,
So throughout that process, 'cause I feel like a lot of people they would be a little shy, a little timid to do that. Like, but that
yeah.
just speaks to your boldness. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't really think anything of it. I just went like there's several food truck parks around, Charleston area where like there might be 5 food trucks at one time serving like a food court.
Mhm.
And I just walked to every single one and asked them, what worked and what didn't work. And I kind of asked a lot of them and then gathered what worked and tried to roll with that.
Right.
I didn't think anything of it, but
Absolutely. I love that so much. And I feel like that's a piece of being an entrepreneur. You have to be willing to put yourself out there and like really not think nothing of it. Sometimes
yeah,
people get too caught in their mind instead of just
exactly, exactly.
so once you did your research, you say you saved $5,000 from working at Wendy's. Is that how
Mm-hmm.
much it cost for you to get your first trailer? With inflation going crazy right now, it is very important that you learn how to manage the money that you work so hard for and budget well. Make sure that you make your budget a part of your lifestyle. I know that sometimes budgeting, we can kind of have our own little feelings about budgeting, or we just simply don't do it, or we don't consistently do it. Well, lifestyle budgeting is going to tackle all of those mindsets, all of those things that are stopping you from developing a lifestyle of budgeting. If you want your personal finances to do something different, if you want them to look different, you have to do something different. And the basics is budgeting. Make sure you click the link down below and download the 2022 edition of Lifestyle Budgeting. Let's get right back into the podcast episode.
Well, see, I bought the trailer. It was just a regular trailer with a window, no work inside. It was all plywood inside, no flooring, no nothing. I bought it for 4 and then did the work, myself and with a carpenter friend. So we put it together, and then got it wrapped. And then getting it wrapped was like 1,500.
Mm-hmm.
So, we started off slow and slowly reinvested more money into the trailer to make it look better.
Absolutely. So tell me about like getting Snow Blast off the ground? Because I know you probably did find success quickly. Or can you talk about your success and how you had to do different things? Like, did you have to market? Did you have to pull up to different places? Like, what did you do with Snow Blast?
Yeah, so at first it was kind of, a little rocky. We wasn't getting many bookings and stuff. So I pulled up, like, my aunt owns a barber shop on Dorchester Road. So we pulled up at, in front of her shop and served. We did pretty good. We called food truck, parks and served there. And, we was doing a lot of the calling. And then we got it wrapped. Getting it wrapped was the biggest break. Because when we were driving around, people would call our number and follow us.
Yeah.
And then they started us. So we haven't really asked anybody to get into an event in like a year now. They've been calling up. So
That is so good. Does any of this surprise you or shock you?
A little bit, because I didn't, I knew I was going to be an entrepreneur, but I didn't know this route was going to take off.
Yeah.
It was an idea, kind of took off.
Yeah. And do you like actually serving and being like involved with the food truck, or do you just like, standing back, operating and letting your vision play out? Like, do you have a team? Talk to me about like the operations of your food truck business.
Yeah, I got a team together. My girlfriend, my mom, and a few, friends, working. But so I like to stay back, sometimes, but I like to get in there as well, though. But the first year I was, hustling. I was in there every day.
Right.
6 days a week at events. So I was in there, for a year straight. Now I might go out there and work a few days a week, and then stay back and handle trailer sales and other business stuff. But yeah, we got a solid team though.
Yeah, I love that. So you just said sometimes you stay back and handle trailer sales. So it's kind of like you're operating two different businesses. So can you
Yeah.
talk to my community about like the pivot and you switching to not only having your own snow cone food trailer business, but like how did you start actually selling the food trucks and the food trailers to other people who were interested in getting in the industry? This episode is sponsored by Kikoff. Kikoff is one of my favorite credit building apps because they don't have any interest. They do not check your credit score to approve you, and there are so many benefits that you get, and they report all of this stuff to two of the major credit bureaus, TransUnion and Experian. So if you know that you are looking to increase your credit score, you need a little boost, you need a little help, download the Kikoff app and create your account today. Another thing that I really love about this app is they have something called a credit building loan. So you pay $10 a month into this loan, and at the end of the year, you get your full $120 back. Y'all, that is literally unheard of in the credit building space. So take that into account, and if you are looking to increase your credit score, make sure you go download Kikoff. No interest, no fees, no none of that. $5 a month to build up your credit score. Click the link below and create your account today. Now let's get right back into the episode.
Yeah, so story about that is we was at a lot of events, and people kept coming up to me asking if they could buy my same trailer, or if I knew who I could buy it from, and I said, I bought it from a manufacturer, but I did the work inside myself. But they were like, "Well, buy the trailer and do the work, and then give it to me." So I started handing out my Snow Blast business cards, and then all of a sudden I had like 4 orders for trailers.
Wow.
So I work full time with the food trailer, but also fulfill these orders that people wanted me to make their own. So it kind of took off. So now we're running 2 separate businesses.
Yeah. It's so crazy how things just happen so organically. Like you don't even know that it's going to be part of your path, but when people ask, you just give them what they want.
Yeah, exactly. I didn't even really try. They just wanted my trailer, and I wasn't going to sell them mine. So I said, I'll sell you this. I'll sell you another one. So it just kept going and going and going. And then now we're like, back ordered.
Yeah. So which business do you like operating in most or better?
I like handling the trailer sales a little bit better.
Why?
I don't know. I guess because it's bigger money.
Right.
But yeah, I like talking to people. I like giving them information.
Mhm.
and, helping them set up so they can have a successful food truck of their own.
Absolutely. So, Trad, on your journey, like, talk to me a little bit about the challenges or things that you had to overcome, because I feel like in this social media age, it's very easy for people to kind of look at entrepreneurs from the outside and thinking like we have it all figured out, but not knowing that we go through so much throughout the process. So, can you talk to me a little bit about challenges or anything that you had to overcome?
Yeah, it was like I said, it was a little rocky at first, and I didn't know if it was going to work out. So really, the main like struggle, was investing 5K, not knowing it was going to work.
Mm,
All I had. I didn't really care what people thought. I mean, I just wanted it, to have a lot of bookings and whatnot. So, but investing that first 5K,
yeah.
all your, a little stressful.
And I feel like that goes back to another quality characteristic of an entrepreneur. You have to be willing to take the risk.
Exactly, 100%.
Yeah, you don't know if it's gonna work or it's not gonna work, but I bet after you invested that 5K, you did everything that you could in your power to ensure that it would work.
Exactly. And I was thinking too, if I invested 5K, if all else fails, I could still sell the trailer for over 5K.
Hmm.
So but it was a little scary at first, but it worked out. I'm glad I did it. So I
Yeah.
push others to do it too.
When you ever got like your food truck on the road, were there ever like days when you're like, dang, we're not making enough money from these snow cones? What am I gonna do? Do I need a strategy?
Yeah, we were at Sam's Club because we were working, in their parking lot for like 3 days a week for the whole summer because they asked us to.
Mhm.
And we went out there one day and only made like $35. And
Wow.
then we were like, dang, because I had to pay my employees and whatnot. And then, but the next day we went out there and made 700.
Mm,
Like you never know. It's hit or miss. But I say, the biggest tip with that is put yourself where the people are. So
yeah.
like if you concert, there's 10,000 people at this concert, you're gonna at least get 1,000 of them.
Right.
So I say, put yourself where the people is. Don't go where there's not a large attendance.
Yeah. Have you in your journey like had to intentionally sit back? And I know you say now like a lot of people hit y'all up to come to the events, but before
Mhm.
y'all got to that point, were you sitting back thinking like what events do I need to go to, research and trying to find different events to get your food truck out there?
Yeah. So there's a really one of the biggest breaks was finding a Facebook group. They schedule food trucks and whatnot, and
Mhm.
you can go on there and put an advertisement, and they'll book you from there. So like we got like maybe our first 15 bookings just from a Facebook group.
Wow.
That really helped too, Facebook.
Yeah. And I feel like people be sleeping a lot on Facebook groups. I had a past
Yeah,
guest and she has a mobile t-shirt company. So she took an ambulance and turned it into like a t-shirt company on wheels. It's so cool.
yeah, I
And
saw that.
yeah, and she talked about how she learned so much through Facebook groups, and she was telling my people like, don't sleep on these Facebook groups because there's so much
Oh,
game inside of them.
it is. Hey, there's a lot of money on Facebook.
Yeah, yeah.
For-
So, Trad, before we kind of segue into our next segment, on your journey, can you talk to me a little bit about the money part? So, we are very big on financial education, financial literacy. Is there
mm.
anything that you had to sacrifice in order to help your business grow financially? Or what did you have to do so that your business could be profitable? Because a lot of people, they can be in business, but their business is not profitable.
I guess just working like 15-hour days,
Mm,
early, pushing advertising, handing out business cards, posting on Facebook, running Facebook ads, um, all type of stuff. I mean, you gotta work hard and keep pushing.
yeah. Is there anything like as far as expenses like during your journey that you feel like you had to cut back? Or with snow cones, is there even a lot of like high expenses?
No, the overhead isn't too bad. I mean, you just gotta, restock on the gallons of syrup, keep
Mhm.
the machine going, cups and spoons and whatnot. We also do like lemonade and cotton candy.
Okay.
So there's I mean, just got to keep inventory in stock. But other than that, it's not too much.
Absolutely. So what's your vision for moving forward? Like, have you thought about like multiple snow blasts or just
Yeah,
their
we're in the process. We're gonna start franchising,
hmm So
so
have
we're gonna go blast in different parts of the state.
yeah. So have you already started thinking about like the process of franchising? Like what made you say like, okay, I want to franchise this?
Well, a lot of people, were buying the trailers that we sell for snow cone businesses, and they were asking if they could, use our logo or license with us, to give them a little bit of head start.
Yeah.
So yeah, I filed the trademark and whatnot. So we're just waiting to get that back, and the papers all ready, and then we should start. We should be ready in a few months to start franchising.
That is brilliant.
Mm.
That is brilliant. And I feel
Yeah,
like with franchising, the beauty in that is not only do people get to just like, pay and start a business that they, didn't really think of, but you're paying for that brand awareness. So because y'all have already been out in the field, making connections, building relationships with people, people can now tap into that and create wealth for their families too.
exactly. Yeah, and we're gonna give you, the blueprint, all the tips, everything that has helped us be successful, and you
Mhm.
can take that to your own city and whatnot, and it should be successful for you too. So
Yeah. So, Trad, with being so young as a young entrepreneur, because I'm a young entrepreneur myself, have you found it difficult, like just navigating relationships? So, like people our age not really necessarily being on the same things that we're on, or kind of like one thing I always hear is, girl, you're so mature, or I thought you were
yeah.
old for your age. Like, tell me, like, have you encountered any of that? And how do you navigate those waters of being young, an entrepreneur, and relationships?
Yeah, that part's tricky too. Like I have a lot of friends. I'll be like, "Hey, come with me to Atlanta, deliver this trailer. Come with me here," and they were like, "No, I got work." And and hey, nothing's wrong with the 9 to 5, but
Mhm.
I mean, I've even tried to recruit some of my friends to come work with me,
Mhm.
and they were like, "Nah," they're they're scared in that mindset. They're scared to leave the 9 to 5.
Yeah,
So I try to kind of push it on some people, but not everybody's built for it. But you know, and then you got family members that'll be like, they don't think it's a real job, or they'll be like, when you gonna do something else? But they don't know, I'm probably making more money in a month than you do in a year.
absolutely.
So it's like, but I mean, I'm not looking for anybody's opinions or their whatever. So, I just keep doing me. So
Yeah. But I mean, was your father really supportive of your ventures because he was already an entrepreneur?
yeah, yeah, he believed in me. That wasn't even a worry.
Yeah, absolutely. And I feel like honestly, as long as you have that one person, and I mean, really, you have to convict yourself. You have to believe in yourself at first, and anybody else is honestly extra. But I'm not going to sit here and act like entrepreneurship isn't hard because it is hard work. And like you said, everybody isn't built for it. So
So
it's important to have that support system.
yeah, and I mean, like I said, I was reselling shoes at 12, 13 years old.
Mm,
So I was already, hustling and making my own money since I was like really young. So it wasn't as hard for me because I have been doing it for a while. But
yeah.
it still was a little stressful. But
So why did you stop reselling shoes? Because I feel like the resale sneaker market, buy sell trade, oh, it's a
mm,
huge deal now. And I interviewed, I'm not sure if you know him, but Ryan, he owns the plug in Myrtle Beach.
yeah,
And we
yeah,
go ahead.
I've been there before.
Yeah, and we had a really good conversation just about the sneaker resale industry. So why stop doing that when you were doing it so young?
Um, well, I started off like I was 12 years old wearing, whatever Air Force Ones and Jordans and whatnot, and then people was trying to buy them off my feet in school. And so I was selling shoes. I mean, in out my locker,
Wow.
12 and 13. So and then we would line up at different stores, Citadel Mall, Northwoods Mall. on release day and buy like, I get my friends in line about paying like $50 each. And then he would buy like, say 5 pairs. And then we would just sell them, flip them right then.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, but it started with me because I think the market was kind of weird for a few years and I wasn't making as much money.
Mm-hmm.
They were mass producing a lot of the Jordans and stuff. So that's when I got the job at Wendy's. And then I started the food truck. So, I mean, I'm doing other things though, but so it wasn't my thing anymore.
Yeah, it kind of ran its course.
Yeah, it definitely ran its course.
Okay, Tread. So before we go into our soul food segment, is there anything else that you want to share about Snow Blast or about, matter of fact, before I ask you that, I have a question for anyone listening right now who wants to start a food truck. What words of wisdom, what advice do you have to give them for getting started?
Getting started, don't spend too much money initially. As you go, put more money into your business.
Mm-hmm.
Hand out business cards, run Facebook ads, get in these Facebook groups, and just those steps will help you be successful pretty quick because there's a big need for food trucks in the Charleston area and in South Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
So you get a lot of bookings really quick.
One thing that really stood out to me was don't invest too much initially because sometimes people feel like everything has to be perfect before getting started. So what is like a common mistake that you see new food trucks making, like when it comes to investing? Like, is it too much into the look or too many products on their menu? Like, talk to me about that.
Yeah, I would say that initial how much money they put in, because I've seen people put in $40,000 to have this food trailer, and it takes them a year to even get the money back when they could have spent maybe 15 to 20 and got the money back within a few months if you were doing the right steps. And then another thing is people have these long menus when you don't really need that much. So I mean, then you got to worry about having 15 items in stock when you could have just reduced 5 and save money and time having to prepare all these items.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I love that. And I think about like when, as a consumer, when I go to a food truck and you give me all of these options, it makes it so hard for me to decide on what it is that I want. But let's just say you get a food truck and you have like those 5 items and those 5 items are your signature items. Not only are you going to get like highlighted and promoted for your food truck, your business, your brand, but those 5 things because they're going to be so easy to remember.
Yeah, exactly. And we kind of messed up with that because when I started, I had 22 flavors of snow. Out that was like 22 gallons you gotta bring around. That's 22 bottles to refill. So I cut it down to like, I think we're at 14 right now. A lot better because a lot of the flavors people were never even ordering.
Yeah. And I was just about to ask, like, what do you do with all of that syrup when nobody is like ordering it, when nobody really doesn't like it that much?
That syrup, I think we just threw away the syrups that we took off the menu. But I think the syrup gallons have like a 1.5-year expiration date. So I mean, we go quick, so we never have a problem.
Yeah. So now, Tread, let's segue into our soul food section. So anybody that knows me, listen to my podcast, they know that I'm from King Street, South Carolina, which is
I got family there.
Really?
There.
Well, it's very country here.
Yeah,
and we love soul food. I love soul food. So my first question for you is, give me a crock pot story. So I feel like right now we live in an age where everybody wants things to happen quickly. They want the microwavable success. Tell me about a time when something had to slow cook in the crock pot for you.
Let's see. What took time? I'm trying to think. I guess working out of that tent, that canopy. We were working out of that tent for like 4 months. We didn't even have a trailer yet. And it was slowly building up, and we were bookings from out of the tent. But when we got in that trailer, when we saved up the money from the tent and bought a trailer, that's when it took off.
Yeah.
3 to 4 months working out of a tent, and we were up and at it in the trailer.
Yeah.
But a few of those months I wanted to give up because I was like, dang, this ain't working. We're only making $80 this day. We only made $100 this day. And then we built up the business, put it in a trailer, and then it took off.
Yeah. And I love that. Like, I feel like that speaks to your perseverance to keep going, because it's not just going to be all peaches and cream in the beginning.
Very rarely does it happen overnight.
Absolutely. So our second question, the itis. You know, when you eat some real good soul food, you just want to lay on the chair, you get tired. Tell me something that you're sick and tired of seeing regarding either money or business.
Am I sick and tired of seeing? I think I'm sick and tired. I think everybody trying to become a rapper. I think that's a
You're sick and tired of that?
rap.
Okay. Why do you feel like you're sick and tired of that?
Because I mean, like, some people are, good artists, but you got everybody trying to be one thing, and there's so many ways to make money.
Mm-hmm.
There's a million ways to make money, and everybody's trying to make it one way, and only a few people are gonna make it out.
Right.
So I say, you put your time on other avenues. There's so many ways to become rich. So
Yeah, absolutely. Next question. The go-to. No matter what, we all have that go-to soul food meal. It never disappoints. What is your go-to? What keeps you motivated and inspired to being the businessman and the entrepreneur that you are today?
I think, different goals. So like franchising, that goal, that'll keep me going, and just reaching new goals and new benchmarks and becoming, a bigger and better business and a better brand.
Yeah.
So, goals.
Yeah. And I think having goals is super duper important, because a mentor told me one time, if you aim at nothing, you will hit it with amazing accuracy.
Yeah.
So sometimes we're just, going through our life coasting and floating, but not setting goals, not really going after the things that we desire. So
I always write down my goals, and then, just put it in a shoebox or put it somewhere. And then, in 6 months, bring it out and see what you did.
Yeah.
Here I've got a whole bunch of goals. I'm trying to cross off every single one before this year's over.
Absolutely. So last but not least, that's good. So, once you take that first bite into a meal, if it's good, you're probably going to say, that's good. So can you close us out with some words of wisdom for either a current entrepreneur or an aspiring entrepreneur who's currently on their journey?
I'd say scared money don't make no money. But if you believe in what you're going to do, so don't start something just trying to chase, the quick dollar. Actually put your time and, and hustle at it, put everything you got at it.
Yeah.
And then don't invest all your money if you don't have to, but if you know it's going to work, hey, you can do it, because I did it. But I'd say, don't overspend. You can always start out small. You don't got to start out big, but don't be scared.
Absolutely. I love it so much, Trad. Thank you for being on the podcast. Yeah. I appreciate you sharing your story. Y'all, if you did not take notes, rewatch this 3 times. Take notes, but most importantly, take action, okay? And y'all know I always tell y'all, with exposure, execution, and consistency, there is absolutely nothing you can't do. So I'll see y'all on the next episode.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Of course. If you love the Responsible Homegirl Podcast, there are plenty of ways to show your support. I have them also listed in the description box. 1, leave us a rating or review. 2, email me a review of the podcast so that I can share on social media. 3, I have listed our PayPal where you can send whatever you feel led to send. Or 4, by joining our Patreon, our exclusive community where we host book clubs and we talk about all things personal finance and entrepreneurship. Whatever you decide to do, just know that I am so grateful and I appreciate you for sharing the Responsible Homegirl with all of your homegirls and all of your homeboys. Thank y'all so much.